Hello and welcome to the Cafe Nightly Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is the 11th of November, 2024. It is a Monday, and we finally have airplanes, kind of, sort of, maybe with some qualifications. So we'll get into the idea of airplanes coming to the game of Upland. That is a sale kicking off tomorrow. We'll get into the details. We get into some of the not written but written portions of that as well. And we're going to get into something else as well, and that is the end of harvest season, because as much as it was easy to say, do this, do that, get ready for the end of harvest season, we're actually there. This is the last week of harvest season. Wednesday ends the racing series for the season. Friday ends the season itself. The end of the season obviously has the end of gamified earnings for the season for the dividends, or the increase on the dividends into next season. It also is going to help us determine how much you're going to get for a Sparklet drop, a Sparklet airdrop that will happen after the end of the season. So we'll get into that and remind people on that as well. And now is the time, if you haven't yet, to complete as many of the tasks as you can. Again, review the number of tasks that you have completed for this month and get in and get it taken care of so harvest season can be a successful one for you. And other than that, that's where we're at. Nothing major, nothing big to get into. We'll keep our eyes out for the rest of the week with a caveat. Caveat is that I am traveling this week, so the potential of me missing a show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is high, but we will see if we can still make things happen. For tonight, let's get started with a disclosure up front. Good to see you, Sixpacks. All views and opinions expressed by myself, they're mine and mine alone. Shouldn't be taken as game strategy or financial advice. They don't represent the game of the team of Upland. They obviously, if any opinions coming from guests and contributors, are theirs and theirs alone as well. They don't come from the team of Upland, the game of Upland, myself, that goes with the Cafe Nightly Show. They don't represent any of us, and they shouldn't be taken as game strategy or financial advice. We'll take a look at that image here. Let's take a look at the announcement. Let's get some reminders of dates for planes in the game of Upland. And there's a couple pieces of this announcement that are a little iffy for me. And that is because the language really doesn't say what's actually happening. You heard right. Finally time. You have the ability to get your hands on your own plane. Ooh la la. This is applicable only to executives and above, meaning making this an incredibly rare opportunity. Rare opportunity. Again, there's a limited number of people who are applicable at this point. There is going to be expansion later. As of right now, the amount of people who are executives who get them is a very small percentage of executives overall. There's a lot of executives in the game of Upland, and a lot of us will not get these planes for the first opportunity that's made around. So it's not a rare opportunity because it's only for exclusive executive players and up. It's a really rare opportunity because there's a lot less than there needs to go around effectively. We'll get into the details there, the numbers. Registration starts at 9 a.m. PT today. And the sale begins tomorrow. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the 12th at 9 a.m. PT. Let's take a look. Let's check out this announcement. Nothing too crazy here. Introducing Upland's first exclusive plane sale, the MV-100 Sparrow. We're thrilled to announce an inaugural exclusive plane sale in Upland, where high-status players can take to the skies in the limited edition MV-100 Sparrow as the first ever aircraft offered by Upland for direct purchase. The sleek single-engine plane brings a new dimension of exploration and prestige to your Upland experience. So the note on that is clear. It is the first time that they're available for direct purchase. There have been some of these that have been won. They were originally given out as passes, and then the passes became planes. And now people have those locked in airports. And if you're not an executive status, you can't do much of anything with them. If you are executive status, you can't fly them because flight isn't in the game yet. MV-100 Sparrow. The MV-100 Sparrow is a 4-seat, single-engine recreational aircraft designed for the executive level and up players. With this exclusive release, we're offering in 2 distinct colors, red and blue, available in limited quantities, chosen randomly upon purchase by the Upland Magical Randomizer. Only players with executive status and above will be able to purchase the MV-100 Sparrow directly from the Upland store. Here's a breakdown of Upland's future This is not today. This is later. Future aircraft model availability based on player status. In the future, and currently as well, MVA 100 Sparrow single engine 4-seat recreational aircraft. For the chief executives, MV 300 Albatross is a turboprop 6-seat commuter. Vice chair gets an MVA 500 6-seat business jet, and the chair MVA 600 Condor, it's a 12-seat business jet. Each unique model of the aircraft will be limited to one direct purchase from the store per account. So if you buy one MVA 100 Sparrow, and you want to turn around and buy a second, you never will be able to do so. If you are a chief executive, vice chair, and you get the MV 100 Sparrow, you can turn around later and in an MVA 300 Albatross turboprop 6-seater commuter. Same with the other levels. So it looks like you can get one of each, but you cannot get the same status plane after you've purchased it once. Each unique model of aircraft will be limited to one direct purchase. See, each model, one direct purchase per person, per person per account. No other options for those individuals. You can buy them secondary market if you choose, but not on the primary. While these planes aren't flight ready yet, aka no flying, this release marks the first step towards the exciting future. Soon, players will be able to move their planes to private hangars, and later they'll be able to enjoy the freedom of private flights across Upland. Details: instead of traditional price, the aircraft requires a pilot fee of $100. So here's two thoughts. The first thought is it is USD only. We talked about, this idea that the flight is meant to be a reward to executives and above. It is not meant to be, according to Upland, it's not a big expensive thing that is being bought. The equivalent price that one could assume would be the plane would be significantly higher than the cost of cars. And to do that, to say that planes are significantly higher priced than cars. Yeah, just as soon as trucks get their trailers, planes will get their wings. Blue, I don't know if it's that long, but yeah. The idea of flight, sell the planes before their utility. We sold cars long before their utility. We still don't have the utility of cars as transport. We know that's coming in the not so distant future. But yeah, it is interesting. It's interesting that we have this another layer of functionality in the planes. We don't have trucks as cargo. We had the semi sold 2 years ago, and we still don't have any use for them yet as far as moving cargo around the map. But flight, yes, flight is coming eventually. You could buy these planes, you can put them in hangars eventually, but we don't know. We don't know when flight's actually going to be here. But the pilot fee of $100 again is meant to stand in as this is a portion of the value of what the planes would be if we were to appropriately price them. Now, here's my concern. My concern was Upland was said that they weren't trying to create a major barrier. They were trying to reward players for their status and give them the plane, and then just charge them a nominal fee to have the pilot fee. Putting it in USD does segregate this a little bit, because there are still players in the game of Upland who may not be in the position or want to or interested in putting $100 USD in at this point at all, even if they're executive status. Executive status means that you have a account value in the game of Upland of 10 million UPIX or higher. That is all your property. Some of the assets don't count, but all your property, the amount of UPIX you're currently holding, all cumulatively together, that is going to be 10 million or more. You're going to be an executive. And if you got the majority of that not through USD purchases, but instead through, grinding in events and treasure hunting, $100 might be a lot for you just to open up your pocketbook and throw at the game, especially since the flights are supposed to be a reward. I could understand 100,000 UPIX. That makes sense. I could understand more than 100,000 UPIX. But again, the USD $100 means that either A, the person has to be in a position where they're going to open up their wallet and make a purchase, or B, and this is a real one, they have to earn some USD by selling something in the game of Upland, getting into a Tilia account, using the Tilia account to purchase, which could happen as well. I personally do have a couple $100 that are just sitting there in my Tilia account waiting for just this opportunity. It was earned by selling things I had earned or accumulated, purchased, and then been able to resell into USD. Held onto some of that for future sales, and here is a future sale in USD only that I plan to use on. Again, if it was an UPEX, it would be the argument would be a little stronger to say that we're not trying to make an exclusive gate here. It would be a little stronger to say, we're trying to reward these players. We're just charging a nominal fee to make up the difference. But again, it's a USD per sale price, even though Upland says this is just meant to be a small fee, which it is compared to the cost of an airplane, a small fee to stand in for the pilot fee. It is also a moneymaker or a revenue generator because Upland turned that into a USD sale instead of an UPEX sale. And Upland, it does have to have USD sales. Upland does have to generate revenue. I don't take umbrage with the fact that Upland is selling into USD. The umbrage is more about the fact that this was supposed to be this is broadly open to everyone, and it's going to be a USD gate of $100. And rightfully so, these are going to sell more than likely. Again, no guarantees, but more than likely going to sell out very, very, very quickly. More than likely, there's going to be significantly more demand than there is supply. And we'll get into that. The supply is 46, so there's only 46 available. There's a randomization between the red and blue. You don't know what you're going to get. The sale starts on Tuesday, November the 12th. That is tomorrow, 9 a.m. PT. Registration is open now. So if you haven't registered yet, you do have to get into the game to do so. You do have to be executive status. And here's the one thing that might trip people up as well. You have to be executive status and you have to register on the browser-based version of Upland. And that's because the $100 exceeds the threshold that most apps have for sale, or that we do sales on in most apps for Upland anyways. That if we have a sale in USD, it's under the $100 threshold. This is $100. Obviously, this moves to being only in the game of Upland. So browser-based Upland registration only, browser-based Upland payment only. This is your opportunity to own a unique piece of Upland history and elevate your in-game experience with a brand new mode of exploration. Again, when's it going to be? We'll have to see. Be among the first to take off. Again, take umbrage with the language, take off. It's be among the first to own a plane in the game of Upland with an MV-100 Sparrow. Show off your new wings. Prepare for takeoff. That's fair. Prepare for takeoff. You don't know when it's going to happen, but prepare for it. And get ready for some happy flying in Upland. Flight. What is the benefit going to be? We still have that question. We know that it's going to save some time between car travel. We know that we're going to start with sparking to increase the charge in our vehicles for cars. Is going to start being a part of using cars. Therefore, we're going to have that as a part of planes eventually. And if it's going to be a part of planes eventually, then there is going to be a cost, or there is going to be an analog of cost for trying to fly, and that is spark staking. And you could do your sparklet in other places or stake in other places potentially, and therefore there is an associated cost. Again, not a monetary one, but there is a opportunity cost in staking and sparking planes up. So we'll have to see how that economy kind of develops. Is it really that much more effective to use your own plane than it is to fly? I think it's more convenient. I think it's going to be a matter of getting between two cities, not having to take a layover and, take two separate planes and, being more in control of going from one area to the next. And maybe you'll save a little UPEX. But when you consider the $100 USD fee, the fact that you have to get to executive status, the fact that you're going to be having to park that plane in the new cities that you leave, and if you leave that plane behind, then you have to travel back to get back to that plane, more than likely, it's going to be something that people are going to have to consider. Probably not being a direct money savings in the short run, but it would be enjoyable, I think, to have that status symbol. And that's what it ultimately is about, being able to use it instead of commercial flights in the game of Upland. And we will see the flight aspect likely lag. The material asset, the NFT, just like we've seen in so many times in cars in the past, you get the NFT up front, the utility comes later. And that's what we're looking forward to here, getting the utility at some point in the not so distant future. We do a reminder here. We did look at it earlier in the week, but reminder on this one because this they kind of sneak in here on Friday. There's two design challenges: the Holiday Plaza Challenge and the Holiday Pajama Challenge. That is open now. That is only going to run through now to the November 29th. So a couple weeks here. Do want to get people, if they are interested in being part of that contest, to get on top of it. Went over the details on Friday. Go in and take a look. If you're somebody who's a designer, you're using Blender, you're making art in Blender, now's a great time to go and flex those skills, flex those muscles, and see what you can do as far as this pajama, as far as the contest here for the decoration of the plaza. The one thing that is definitely worth noting is we are headed into the end of harvest season. Like I said, this is the last hurrah. Racing ends this week. This Friday is the championship racing, and Wednesday the 13th does mark the end of the race contest. The 15th also marks the end of the ornament contest, harvest season ornament contest. That is something that has been competitive, very competitive this season, with the caveat that if you're an executive or a chief executive, the top three are kind of blowing things away. You're going to really have to show up if you want to get up to the top, to the heights of some of the best prizes that you're going to get out of the contest. However, it's fun to participate. It's fun to have things decorated, and congratulations to those who are up at the top of the list. And finally, if you are not yet or have not yet put a lot of effort into the task for harvest season, there is still time now. Between now and the 15th of November, you can complete future more or if in the future more of these tasks that you've completed right now. If you can get a few more, that may be a significant difference in the amount of spark that you expect to receive at the Sparklet airdrop after the end of the season. Additionally, the end of the season also brings with it a snapshot of the number of tasks that you've completed to help determine what your dividend payout will be for the next season. That is something that needs to be done prior to 9 a.m. PT on Friday. 5 or more, you're going to get the 14.7% dividend, again, annualized basis dividend for the next season, for Wonderland season. If you do get 12 of the tasks that are presented to you, you get a little bit of a bump. You get to 15.1% for them for that month and a half for the season of Wonderland, the Wonderland season. So there is reasons to continue to participate, even if you've gotten your 5 done now. The TGE based airdrop, Sparklet airdrop, end of the season is a good one too. I'd say TGE based because it is based on the amount of Sparklet you earn prior to the TGE. It's kind of a reward or a dilution for the TGE. The fact that the pricing of Sparklet was listed significantly lower than the original sale price of Spark in past tense. What we are going to see is anybody who did purchase Sparklet has already gotten a payout. Anybody who earned Sparklet is getting a continual payout with these airdrops. We are on our 4th. This will be our fourth airdrop. The higher our number of tasks completed, the higher the multiplier will be, the more Sparklet you'll get. So definitely participate, all based on the amount of Sparklet you had earned prior to TGE and then held in the game. And then obviously you earn a multiplier, get even more. So for today, you've got 3 days left, 4 days left. I want to say 4 days left. It is Monday. Friday is the end of the week, the end of the season. So definitely do get in, take your time, get what you can get done. 1 or 2 more tasks could be the difference between, or let's say 4 more tasks. 4 more tasks could be the difference between an amount of Sparklet and twice that amount of Sparklet. So definitely do keep that in mind. But for tonight, thank you so much for being here. Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. PT. We get together. We do this thing in the Upland Plaza on Tuesdays and Fridays on YouTube, on Twitter, and of course in the Upland Discord Cafe. If you are around the next couple of days, maybe I'll be here, maybe I won't. It's hard when I travel sometimes to get on and do a show, but definitely something we'll work to try to do. But for tonight, thank you so much for being here Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. PT. The news and information that does come out in the game of Upland Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And of course, if you are in the Upland Discord Cafe, feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours.